The group attends a week. No, it's not a week. I would love to have a weekly vacation. Hello, my sweet angels, it's your girl Jay, and today I am here with a fun little video all about my favorite contemporary romances. I'm strictly focusing on the contemporary romances today, but if you want to see a video of my favorite romantices, then let me know and I will definitely film that. All of these contemporary romances are 5 stars in my mind, so I figured I would share the love with you. But I have a total of 10 contemporary romances that I absolutely adore that I want to share with you all, so without further ado, let us get started. Before I talk about the books though, I do want to talk about a company that has sent me over some sunglasses. I have worked with them before, and honestly, I really do love their sunglasses. So the company is Firmoo. Each pair of glasses comes with a hard carrying case, and then if you're not into the hard carrying case, it also comes with a soft carrying case. I already took out the glasses, but they sent me over 2 pairs of glasses and they asked me to pair the glasses with some Valentine's Day-ish looks. So I'm just going to insert those looks right here as I talk about the glasses and the company. The first pair of sunglasses that they sent over are these multicolor frames. They are the frames WT95237. They have an adorable diamond detail on the side, and I think they are just the cutest accessory. I will definitely be bringing these ones for sure on my vacation in April, but then they also sent me over a second pair. These ones are black with purple flecks in them. If you know me, you know purple is my favorite color, so when I saw these, I absolutely died. These are the frames FT18903. These frames are $53.95 each, which is incredibly affordable. I definitely recommend Firmoo as a company to purchase your sunglasses for. They also have prescription eyewear as well if those are your needs. I just personally don't wear glasses, so I always go with the sunglasses option when they contact me. I still wear my tortoiseshell glasses that I got previously from this company, and they are like my tried and true now. I wear them almost every day while I'm driving, so definitely recommend this company, and they have some pretty cute glasses if you ask me. Okay, now on to the books. These are not going to be in a ranking system of my favorite to my least favorite of my favorites. They are just what I grabbed off of my shelves. So I'm just going to be grabbing them from the pile and talking about why I love them. The first romance that I absolutely fell in love with when I read is actually my most recent read. It is Let's Call a Truce by Amy Buchanan. This one reminds me so much of The Hating Game by Sally Thorne, which is why I'm not including The Hating Game on this list, because I feel like these are way too similar to talk about both of them. So this one is more recent in my mind, so obsessed with it. This one follows Juliana. She is a single mother. She lost her husband in a tragic accident, and she is just trying to rejoin the workforce. Juliana is at her first day of work and she thinks that it is going pretty well. She has a little bit of an embarrassing encounter with her coworker Ben, and then she overhears a pretty mean comment that Ben makes later on in the week, and ever since that moment they have been enemies. 2 years later, they are constantly trying to one up another, but then Juliana is put up for a promotion, which she is going to have to work very closely with Ben in order to obtain it. So they decide that they are going to call a truce for the time being so that they can both get what they want. I am a sucker for the enemies to lovers trope, and this book does it so well. I absolutely love banter in books. These two have top tier banter. Their chemistry is insane, off the charts. The sexual tension in this book is so well done. Ben is also just such an amazing book boyfriend. I am obsessed with this man. I would do anything that this man told me to do just because of his patience and kindness. The children in this book are also a big part of the story, and they were just so sweet and adorable. But like I said, this one is very similar to The Hating Game, so if you loved that book, I definitely recommend trying this one out. Next up, I have Birthday by Meredith Russo. This was my first book in 2022, which ended up being a 5-star, which I was so proud of. But this one follows Morgan and Eric. They have been best friends since their birth, and every year they share a birthday party. This follows them through the ages of 13 to 18 as they are growing and developing and becoming different people. Morgan's mother recently passed, and they are struggling, and they are also questioning their identity. They are not sure how to tell the people around them, especially Eric, Eric, who they have developing feelings for. I read this book in one sitting. It is heartbreaking. It is heart-wrenching. I felt so much for both of these characters. It is told in alternating points of views between Morgan and Eric through snapshots of their birthdays from the ages of 13 to 18, and it is so interesting to see how these two are growing and changing together and apart from one another. They have such a complex relationship with each other, and it was really nice to see how it was ebbing and flowing. I also just really enjoyed the ending of this. Next up, I have Red, White, and Royal Blue. I feel like this one is like an OG staple when you talk about contemporary romances. It was a Goodreads Choice winner in 2019, and I definitely think that it deserves that award. It is essentially a hate-to-love romance between Alex, who is the son of the US president, and Henry, who is the Prince of England. Both Alex and Henry are so witty and charming, you cannot help but root for their relationship. Like I said about Let's Call a Truce, I am a sucker for banter, and these two characters were so funny. This one also features many side characters that also shine so brightly. Honestly, I am still so upset that Casey McQuiston has not written spin-off series for the side characters, because I would eat that up. This is another one that I read very quickly. I believe it was only 1 or 2 sittings that it took me to read this book because I was so invested in these characters and their relationship. Highly, highly recommend if you're into enemies to lovers. Next up, I have Happy Place by Emily Henry. I feel like a contemporary romance list would not be complete unless it has an Emily Henry book on it. This is honestly my only Emily Henry book that I have read, but I absolutely fell in love with it. This one follows Harriet and Wynne. They have been together for quite a while, but they recently broke up 6 months ago, but their friendship group does not know. The group attends a yearly getaway to their happy place, which is a cottage up in Maine. Here, Wynne and Harriet have to try to trick their friends into thinking they are still together while actively denying their chemistry that they still have with one another. This cast of characters are just so relatable. They truly feel like real people. I became so invested in Wynne and Harriet's relationship. You could tell that they still loved each other so much, and this is also told in alternating timelines. So you get the past where you get flashbacks of Wynne and Harriet's relationship and how they are falling in love with one another, which makes you root for them so much because you can really see how much they did care for each other. This is another one that the banter is so strong. They are so funny when they're trying to one-up each other throughout the entire story. And this is another one with incredible side characters you can't help but fall in love with. Definitely recommend Emily Henry as a whole because I've heard nothing but good things, and I really did love this book. The next book I have is One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I also want to say that The 7 Lives of Evelyn Hugo should also be on this list, but I feel like everybody talks about that one, and this one is a little bit more underrated, so I decided to go with this one so I didn't have 2 Taylor Jenkins Reid books on this list. But 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo is definitely like top tier for me, so take that as you will. But this one follows a woman named Emma Blair. She marries her high school sweetheart Jesse, and on their 1-year anniversary he goes off on a trip for work and he goes into a helicopter and the helicopter crashes and he is declared dead. Emma is obviously devastated and heartbroken, but she finds love again a few years later with a old friend named Sam. They end up getting engaged, but then Emma receives a phone call that says Jesse has been found and he is alive and well and looking to pick up where they left off. So now Emma has to decide whether she is going to go back to her first love or this new love that she found, and it's the story of her decision. Taylor Jenkins Reid never fails to make me sob by the end of her books, and I am not a crier when it comes to my reading. I'm usually pretty good at holding it in, but no, this author, every time I am going to sob. It was such a roller coaster of emotions. I was definitely one team over the other. I definitely wanted her to end up with a certain somebody. We got to see Emma fall in love with Jesse. We also got to see her go through the heartbreak of losing him. And then we get to see her fall in love with Sam and then get that phone call and have to decide between these 2 men that she loves. I also really enjoyed how it wasn't linear. Like, we got that entire journey, but told in like snippets. It was just very interesting. I also sobbed at the ending, like I said. I just think that it was very, very well done. Highly recommend this one if you want to have a cry fest. Since we are on the topic of me crying, I figured I should talk about the other one that made me cry on this list. It is Forget Me Not by Allison Derrick. The ending got me so good. This one follows Stevie and Nora. They have been dating in secret for 2 years. They're planning on running away to California together, but then Stevie ends up being in a very tragic accident that causes her to forget the last 2 years of her life. Nora is devastated, but she is determined to have Stevie remember that they are destined to be together. I cared about Stevie and Nora so deeply by the end of this book. This author did an incredible job of really making you feel connected with these two. Stevie was such an incredible character. It was really interesting to see her rediscover not only herself, but her love for Nora as well. We also got snippets of letters that Nora wrote to Stevie, so we also got to see inside her head as well. I also really loved how Stevie never gave up on Nora. She knew that she could win her back and win her love again, and it was just so cute. And like I said, that ending, oh my god, if you want to cry, this book is gonna make you cry. The next book that I have is Mixed Signals by B.K. Borison. This is the third book in the Love Light Farms series. I have not read any other of the Love Light Farms books, but this one I absolutely adored. This one, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, this one was a 4.5 for me, but it is only because of the third act breakup, which I thought was unnecessary. But other than that little hiccup, I love this book. This one follows a woman named Layla Dupree, and she has terrible luck in men. She is very bad at dating. Then a man named Caleb, who is actually a regular at her bakery, is celebrating a friend's birthday at the same restaurant that she is having another terrible date at. He swoops in and he proposes that they begin fake dating so that they can practice off of one another for the real thing. They decide that they will do this for 1 month, and as that month progresses, they quickly realize that they actually have a lot of chemistry, and they begin falling for each other. This book definitely gives Hallmark movie vibes. I am obsessed with the two main characters. When I read this book, I had never read a sunshine trope, but I am obsessed. And I think I love this book so much because Caleb reminded me so much of my boyfriend. He is such a golden retriever in a human's body, and I love him so much. So this man, chef's kiss. He is just truly the sweetest cinnamon roll ever and a consent king, so what's not to love? I also really like Layla. I think that she was a good match for Caleb, and I also think that they had insane chemistry and the sexual tension, again, off the charts. This is definitely a slow burn romance, so if that is your cup of tea, I would definitely check this one out because it takes a long time for them to actually do anything, but it is so worth it in the end. Next up, I have Delilah Green Doesn't Care by Ashley Herring Blake. I loved this book so much. I don't know if I want to be Delilah Green or date her. I was obsessed with her. So this one follows Delilah. She has just been hired by her stepsister Astrid to be their wedding photographer. This means that she needs to return to Bright Falls, a place where she swore she would never go back to. She plans to be in and out as quickly as possible, but then she meets Claire Sutherland, who is a bridesmaid, and those plans go out the window. The chemistry between these two characters was so incredible. I was so invested in their relationship and watching them grow closer to one another. I actually have both companion novels in this series, and I just haven't picked them up yet, so this is a great reminder that I need to read the rest of this series, because if I get even a little cameo of Delilah Green, my little heart will be extremely happy. Next up, I have Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute by Talia Hibbert. This is Talia Hibbert's YA contemporary romance and my first ever Talia Hibbert book, and I adored it. This one follows Bradley and Celine, who used to be best friends, but now they are sworn enemies. They both enter a wilderness survival competition where the grand prize is a scholarship to the university of their choosing. As they are forced to spend more time together, they realize that they might not be enemies after all. This is another one that just has such fun banter. I could not get enough of their relationship and the ebb and flow of it. I am a sucker for the grumpy sunshine trope as well, and this one does such a great job of friends to enemies to friends to enemies to lovers to maybe enemies to friends to lovers. It's a roller coaster, and I was here for every second of it. This one also does a really great job of talking about mental health, and that is something that I really enjoy in romance books. The next one that I talk about also does a great job of that. But I do think that this is the only young adult one on my list. So if you're looking for a young adult romance, I recommend this one. And then the final romance book that I'm going to talk about is The Charm Offensive. This one is by Alison Cochrane, and this was one of my favorite books of 2024. It follows Dev, who is a producer on the show Ever After, which is very similar to The Bachelor. He is essentially in charge of coaching the male love interest in their dates with the women. Dev's own personal love life is a little bit of a mess after his latest breakup, and then in walks Charlie, who is the newest male lead and definitely his hardest client yet. Charlie is a tech entrepreneur who has recently lost his job due to a little bit of a mental breakdown at work. And so he agreed to be on the show to repair his reputation. As Dev tries to help Charlie become more comfortable in front of the cameras and with the female contestants, they start to realize that they have undeniable chemistry, and it's them growing closer as the show progresses. This book had me kicking my feet and squealing at these two characters. They are so dang cute. Both Dev and Charlie care about one another so much. They are so in tune with each other's emotions and feelings. It was just so nice to see. This is another book, like I said, that deals with mental health really well. Dev has depression and Charlie has OCD and anxiety, and I personally think that it was discussed so well and respectful in this book, and it never fell into the territory of love cures all, which I really appreciated. But this one, like I said, is just so stinking cute. The chemistry is so well done, and we love some sexual tension, so definitely recommend this one as well. Alright everybody, so those were my 10 favorite contemporary romances. I also want to say thank you again to Firmoo for my new sunglasses. Definitely check out Firmoo for your affordable sunglasses or prescription glasses needs. Please let me know some contemporary romances that I should check out, because I'm always on the hunt for more, and let me know down in the comments if you have read any of these books and what you thought of them, and I will see you all in my next video. Goodbye!